Sigulda in Latvia, the venue for the opening weekend of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. And the first event of the weekend is the Women's Bobsleigh Opener. Hello everybody, welcome to Sigulda. After a World Cup absence of some 14 years, we are back to start our brand new season at this track just half an hour away from the old town of the capital of the country in Riga. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me is Greg West, who's competing this weekend on, Greg, a track that almost nobody knows, and that showed itself right from the beginning of the race.
Yeah, the Sigulda track is definitely one of those that keeps your attention, as we saw from a very experienced German pilot. As you're seeing her upside down, it can bite anybody. And then another big surprise here with Alana Myers-Taylor.
Yeah, Lana, third fastest after the first heat, but the Olympic silver medalist, the sled was underweight and she was disqualified.
Sitting in third place, Anna Kohler. A nice run from the German. The big thing here is she kept the sled pointing straight and minimized mistakes, didn't try to be perfect, and she's in a great contention to come away with a medal today. Then we have Sergeyeva from Russia, another experienced pilot on this track from the Russian Federation. She had another good run, big height in 15, and did not, once again, did not overdrive the track, but anything can happen here as Yamenka from Germany, your reigning Olympic gold medalist, came away with a start record at the time and a track record to lead the field. But what we know about this Sigulda track is it's 16 corners of fun. Anything can happen, and there can be a big scramble in the 8 sleds that are remaining.
Yeah, no kidding. 16 opportunities to get it wrong. Alana Myers-Taylor disqualified. Martina Fonteneva, Switzerland, who crashed in each of the training days, didn't start today. So Mariama Yamanka leads by 2800s. You can give that away almost anywhere just by looking at this track wrong. Nadezhda Sergeyeva and Anna Kohler at the moment in the podium positions, but the gaps here are going to be bigger than we'll see at quite a number of tracks. Air temperature hovering around 0, ice is -4, and there is Alana Myers-Taylor's sled, and unfortunate error from them means that she will not get a chance for a second run. She was in third place after a very strong first heat. She and brand new brakewoman Sylvia Hoffman had the start record. Well, up near the start area are the sleds. They're all collected down at the bottom of the start tower. Then they go up in the elevator, ready to get the race underway, because you start 4 stories up here and you plunge those 4 stories and down to below ground level between the start and exit corner 2. It's a big drop right on early in the track.
Yeah, track walks are not for the faint of heart as you come out of the start house here, because the grading system, you look down and you see nothing but air. There's been a couple of teammates of mine that have really struggled at looking at the 1-2 section, but it is definitely a unique track, a lot of fun when you get it right, and it is a handful when you are just a little bit off.
So first of our sleds in the second heat, and again, both heats count. So the total time taken for both runs will be what decides your winner in the race today. First sled down is Stephanie Schneider of Germany. Never raced here previously. She had 3 World Cup wins last year in Winterberg, Eagles and Königssee, much better known tracks. 5:41, another decent start, quicker than her first getaway.
Schneider looking just to get it down the track. She's back 12 seconds on the leader, so I do not see her pulling that all the way back. But the big thing here is there are points available, because all she has to do is make it to the bottom, and she has a top 8 finish today. So getting down clean and carrying a little bit of confidence into a home track in Winterberg is going to be big. Rough exit, turn 11. This is where she had trouble last time. Handles it well. She's through 13. Little flop on the exit of 14, though.
Yeah, playing a little fast and loose with the track, but she's got it under control, over the brow and dropping back down into the Kreisel, and you come out underneath the track you've just been over. Across the finish line, 52.15. That's much more like it. That would have seen her in the top half dozen, perhaps in the first run.
I think Stephanie is going to be happy to go to Winterberg, but she did her job there. a professional move, getting back to the top of the track. Everybody's okay, and they sent it one more time. And they're going to come away with some big points. Looks like she's holding her elbow a little bit after that hit on the exit of 11.
Yeah, it's kind of rock and roll, this track, isn't it? Particularly for the skeleton sliders.
Hung it up again. A big hit flying through the air on the exit, and then on the exit of 14, drops 2 runners again. And I think what you're seeing there from the German pilot is just nerves. Usually they're steely-eyed and calculated, and here, this Sigulda track has an attitude.
Yep.
And if you get on the wrong side of it, it can physically hurt.
Well, listen, even if they've had a training week or 2 here, still only 6 runs this week to get your head around it. Next up, 7th after the first heat, Katrin Beil of Austria with Val Kleiser behind her. Franz Josef Hoffmann, the coach there. Haven't seen Manny Meyer this week, so I guess we'll catch up with him. 10 seconds ahead of the current leader, Stephanie Schneider, and that's because Schneider had that crash. She was 12 seconds off the pace in the first run.
5:66 start, so they improved 400s on their first heat start time. This is another opportunity, once again, for some big points as they go through the upper portion of this track. Don't have to be perfect here. You just need to be clean. Going into turn 10 here, this is where you're going to see how they manage it. If there are loops, she's in trouble, and a nice level exit. A small tap on the wall, but in a bobsled, that's okay. 13, same thing. Big loops are bad. You saw a fairly flat line, and she's looking really good going into the 15 straight.
Yeah, nice looking run. 120 kilometers an hour equates to some 61 miles an hour.
She's up a casual 10 seconds on the German right now. I think there's going to be green numbers on the exit.
Yep. All right, 52.22, so 0.07 of a second slower than Stephanie Schneider, but 0.3 quicker than her previous best run. So she got that first night nerves. You know, first race run is always a bit of a deep breath, isn't it? Now she got down safe. Okay, now I can just really work on it a little bit better.
Here we see them on the start ramp. Once again, they improved 400s on the start from a 570 to a 566. And it's just really cool watching the process of loading a bobsled on the start ramp.
Gets her knee hooked up a little bit. Her left knee as she was getting in got caught on the cowl, so that slowed her down a little bit, but luckily there's a long run down to turn 1. And of course, she's now done 6 runs in training, plus 2 race runs, so today she's added 25% more knowledge. You know, and because this is such a new track, every single run here just adds so much to your data banks. So next up for Belgium, Anne van Nieuwenhuis and Sarah Ertz. Tom Delahunty at the back. The Belgians and the Dutch working together now as a sort of low countries combination, sharing their coaching and their sled resources. And Anne will be in the announce booth for the second 2-man bobsleigh race on Sunday. So this is where she's going to add to her knowledge of the track.
See the Belgian bullets can do here on the start. They improve as well, 563, so 200s faster. They got a 4/10 lead right now. And the big thing for Anne, once again here, is minimize mistakes, get it down, be clean-ish, and she'll be happy.
Well, she was a little better from 4 to 5 than she was in the first run. So upper labyrinth, she was very skiddy. And the corners never stop coming at you here.
Turn 11, she has a little bit of a loop, comes out big hit on the left side, not as hard as the first run though. She manages 13 fairly well. We'll see how she looks coming down the straight. Right down the pipe, little touch on the left, but she's managing 4,600s in the bank.
And little skiddy as she climbs uphill over the rise and then drops down into the Kreisel that corkscrews down underneath itself, ducks to the line. That's her signature move if ever there was one. 52.01, again 0.12 of a second faster than she went in the first heat. Ice is about the same as it was, so she's just adding that experience and picking up speed with every run.
I think the snow that was falling in the first heat has stopped. It's getting cold here in Sigulda, and that means that ice has an opportunity to get quicker. We're seeing turn 11 right now, a little bit of a loop, but she catches it so it doesn't rise a second time too much. Like it did the first time, I stand corrected. That's a pretty big pressure there on the exit, and that's a good way to rock your head off the cowling.
Yeah, got away with it, and then they all duck out of sight to the finish line. There's less of her to duck, I have to say. You know, not the tallest of the drivers, but
you got to deal with her this weekend.
Yeah, she is our race leader with 5 to go. So top 6 finish guaranteed for Belgium to start their season, and that's the value of coming here to this World Cup race. And value too for Brittany Reinbold. Another track learned. Listen, every day's a school day when you're an athlete or any other form of life.
We'll see what Ryan Bolton Gibbs can do, pushing that really cool livery, that KOA gold and black bobsled. Nice looking sled wrap there.
Yeah. That's a really distinctive look to that sled. And Brittany Reinbolt, the flight instructor, 5:45.
They improved their start time by 400s. Not having to wait 10 minutes before the heat probably helped a little bit.
Yep.
Brittany, the lone American bobsled left in this race. And another opportunity to haul a ton of points here. See how she manages the middle of the track. Nice height in 10, nicely controlled, a little loop on the entrance. Big hit on the exit of turn 11. That's the signature move there. But she pulls it out of 13, and she's through that trouble spot.
Little skiddy, but not as bad as in the first heat. 1900s up on the Belgian. This is for a top 5 finish. Little rattle going into the Kreisel. This might be quite close at the line. She's not got much speed. Wow. 7,000s. 007. That's the goal.
Oh,
there we go.
There it is.
There we go. 52 flat. So she was 100th of a second quicker than the Belgians on that run. She added to her 600s advantage. You saw Alana Myers-Taylor down there in the coach's box applauding her teammate. And you know what? You know, Brittany, she had a crash in training. She was very nervous about the race. First of the new season, of course you are. Top 5? Yes, please.
Check
Thank
the
you.
box.
Yeah,
Check the
absolutely.
box and move on.
And by no means guaranteed that there won't be mistakes. Brittany Reinbolt, the leader. We have 4 to go. First of whom is our rookie Russian, Lubov Chernik, with Yulia Egoshenko, her brakewoman, who has completed 1 whole World Cup race. So the knowledge level here is very restricted in terms of World Cup starts.
Once again, nations have two options going into the new quad, rebuild or reload. We'll see what the Russians can do right here.
Victoria Tokavar on the left, silver medalist last time there was a World Cup race here for Russia.
These two managed a 5.53 in the first heat. They have a lot of experience on this track. 5.51, so also 200ths quicker. She's got 1400ths of a second in the bank, and that is nothing on this difficult Sigulda track.
Yeah, 1 error, and that's all gone away. Neat and tidy through the upper labyrinth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And still the corners come at you. I mean, Winterberg next week is going to be a total holiday for the drivers after this.
We'll see how she manages turn 11. No major waves, takes a tap, but the sled stayed pointing forward. We don't see the big skid we've seen from other people. Jerks it off the exit of turn 13 and down the straight.
Still in the green, and she's doubled her first heat advantage over Brittany Reinbolt, driving herself into a 4th place finish on her World Cup debut. Not too many tracks she'd be able to do that. And she hits the wall on the exit, but a 51.72. Again, 1500ths quicker than her first run. She's added to her knowledge. She's one of the few that has got a little bit of pre-season experience here. She raced in the Europa Cup, the 2nd tier of sliding, a couple of years ago, where she had what was, at that stage, her career best ever result of a 4th place finish.
You see the extra trips on this track definitely helped as she pulled away to a half-second gap from only up 1400ths at the start. Watching the load right now. Don't see any major dramas happening there.
Look at a brakewoman getting in nicely. Keeps the sled nice and straight. 2nd ever World Cup start for a brakewoman. 1st World Cup start for Lubov Chernik, our current leader, with 3 to go. Anna Kohler of Germany in a bronze medal position after the first heat here in Sigulda in Latvia. And if Kohler can finish here, it will be her equal best World Cup finish. She was 3rd in Altenburg last year. She was the Europa Cup champion back in 2016.
5.51 getaway. They also improve on that start time by 100th of a second, so green numbers for the German as she enters the upper labyrinth of this track.
She was 700ths up on Chernik, the current leader after the first heat. Tied her at the start, but she's losing a little ground, only 500ths up.
Still green numbers. Now, how she manages the 11-12 section will tell you a lot. Little tap, you saw the skid. What will that do to the lead?
This is going to be very close between 2 new sliders, a rookie last year, Anna Kohler, and a raw rookie in Lubov Chernik.
Got a race on her hands, 200ths of a second as they head into the uphill. 121.9 speed. Is it going to be enough?
Not as quick as the Russian, but just enough. 900ths of a second in front. Little celebration there from René Spies, the head coach of the German program on the right.
That's a medal to open the season. That is a great start. Can't ask for much more than that, especially coming to this this difficult track, except for maybe your brakeman to give you the high five.
Look how happy they are. And Lisa Czernicka, her brakewoman, her first ever World Cup start.
Exit turn 11, we see that a little bit of pressure, that height on the end of the corner that caused her to hit. But here, exit turn 14, just a small little tap on the left side and a little skid. Maybe a few hundredths there, but not too much time lost as we see him go through turn 15.
Yeah, big height through the Sigulda turn down there at the bottom. That helps you carry the speed. There's your leader, Anna Koller, with rookie brakewoman Lisa Czernicka. They move into the leader's box. Hester herding sheep down there at the bottom, as per usual.
She looks very festive, though.
2 to go. Russia's Nadezhda Sergeva. Last time she was here in the Europa Cup in 2015, it was a double race weekend for the women, and she took 2 silver medals behind teammate Alexandra Rodionova. Can she go one better here?
Big opportunity here. 5-4-0 in the first heat from Sergeva.
In and down, neat and tidy from herself and brakewoman Yulia Belemesnik.
5:43 start, so they're down a couple hundredths on their first start time, but still a respectable run. A little bit of a flop there out of the exit of turn 2. That is uncharacteristic of the Russian sleds we've seen today.
She was the start record holder from 2015 with brakewoman Nadezhda Viderka.
Green numbers as they enter the middle of the track, 37 hundredths up. We see a little bit of a loop and a small tap. How they managed 13 will tell the story.
Well, she's adding to her advantage over Anna Koller with every meter. That's a great exit. This is a challenge for gold.
Managing that 3/10 gap. She's not looking to hold her spot. She wants to move up. Little skid on the entrance at Kreisel.
Little bit of a disappointing season for her last year. Best results were a pair of 5th places. This is going to be at least a silver medal. I should have looked, shouldn't I, just after training to check what her best ever World Cup result is. I think we are watching it right now.
Great run there from Sergeva. This is a very difficult track, even for those that know it better than others, and she does a nice job. We see turn 11, that second loop on the end. She comes out and taps the left wall right here. We're seeing a lot of the sleds do that, and then through the big 15 Sigulda corner up near the woodwork, and that is the send it, checkers or wreckers kind of line. If you're gonna go for it here and try to win a gold, sometimes you gotta really take it up to the roof.
Well, she's looking pretty happy with that. Nadezhda Sergeva, our race leader, 1 to go. And if there's one who's going to beat her here, maybe the reigning Olympic champion might be the one.
Umenka and Annika Drazik pushed 5:34. They had the fastest start in the first heat of the sleds that are left. All she needs to do is put together a mostly air-free run, and she's going to easily be on the podium and has a great chance to win this race. 5:30, they're going hunting. Another start record from the Germans. Not a bad way to kick off the season with a couple of those.
Well, this is going to be a very powerful combination. Umenka, the Olympic champion, Annie Draczek again is the strongest brakewoman in the German fold. Umenka looked pretty flawless given the fact that she's never raced here before.
Managing 51 hundredths up. They got a half second in the bank, takes the tap out of 11, but the sled stays parallel. She manages 13. She's got a shot here, and she does.
And she's in the green. Won one race last season. That was in, Pyeongchang, the Olympic Games. That was the only race win, though. Didn't win in the World Cup. She's going to start the season with a gold medal and a resounding victory. 51.40. By some margin, the quickest of the second heat as well as the first, and it's the first win of the season for Mariama Umenka and Annika Draczek.
Nice looking drive. The German putting on a clinic today. I think it's pretty easy to see from the video that she had the 2 best drives, and if you put the 2 best drives with 2 start records, you are going to be very, very difficult to beat on this technical track here in Sigulda.
So win number 1 for our reigning Olympic champion. Mariama Umenka of Germany wins the first race for women's bobsleigh at World Cup level in Sigulda since 2004. The last woman to win, Kathleen Martini of Germany.
There's a name.
Yeah, 14 years between German wins. Kathleen then claimed the European Championship with a double race win. Mariama Umenka, the Olympic champion, seals victory with Annika Dracek. Fast starts and some pretty neat driving around a track that she had not raced on before. Jamanka is learning fast. Didn't win last year. She starts this year as the defending Olympic champion with gold. And confirmation of the top three, Nadezhda Sergeva had never had a World Cup medal before. She's our silver medalist. And Anna Kolar finishing in third spot. So in fourth place is Lubov Chernik, the Russian rookie in her first World Cup start. Brittany Reinbold gets a top 5 finish. And Van Nieuwenhuis, 6th position, ahead of Katrin Beil and Stephanie Schneider, the finishers here at Sigulda. Well, well, well. So again, you know, a new playground, but the ability to learn fast, which Jamanka showed when she was brought into the World Cup fold a couple of years ago, serves her well here as well. It's not just winning on German tracks. She's very, very good at picking it up and finding out the details.
Well, this track really separates those that understand how to navigate difficult portions of the track. Learning, as the Germans tend to do on the Oberhof-Luge track, I think really lends itself to a style of track such as Sigulda, but that's not taking away from the ability of Miss Jamanka. That was an absolutely epic push and drive. And once again, if you can do that in both heats on a track such as this, I think that really, you know, that goes to show for the season that they mean business. They took the reload approach rather than the rebuild, and the Germans are definitely going to be in the fold this season.
Well, Brittany Reinbold there offering her congratulations, all smiles with Lauren Gibbs after finishing in a fine 5th position. And Mariama Jamanka, well, you know, she came into the German program and was just thrown into the deep end, and they never shy away. They don't go, oh, we'll just do a bit of training and then we'll do a few races. No, you do every World Cup race. Bang, 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 bang. And so for her first season and a half, I've never been here, never been here, never been here, never been here, you know, rocked up to Salt Lake and Lake Placid and places that she'd never even seen, and held her head above water. With Annika Dracek behind her, she's got a great starting lineup. She can, you know, you don't accidentally win the Olympic Games. Not against a field that includes a double Olympic champion and silver medalist and bronze medalist from the previous games. She's got what it takes, and the Germans have got a real talent on their hands, and that. If that's her only win this season, I'd be really, really surprised. It's a big, big win from Mariama Jamanka of Germany. Sigulda in Latvia, 14 years on from the last Women's Bobsleigh World Cup race won by Kathleen Martini. The next one won by Germany's Mariama Jamanka from Nadezhda Sergeva, who claims her first ever World Cup podium, and Anna Kolar her bronze medal. So that's your lead group in the World Cup standings. And we, in a week from now, will be joined by a whole host more teams, including the likes of Canada, Great Britain, perhaps, at Winterberg in Germany. But Greg West, as a way to start the season, coming to Sigulda, a big adventure for almost everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting the party started early with an incredibly difficult track. If you can manage it here, it makes the rest of the season look really good. And this gives us the opportunity to go to Altenburg right after Christmas and say, oh, it's just Altenburg. That never happens. So, no, it's a great venue. Once again, Dynas Dukers has put on a heck of a show so far. We're looking forward to some great racing this weekend and a great start for the German bobsled team.
Well, if Altenburg is the track too tough to tame like Martinsville, maybe this is like Pocono, where people just don't get it unless they get it. And this is a great track. Really, really entertaining track. Real old school kind of racetrack with lots going on for the driver. And again, you know, driving talent will out. Mariama Jamanka claims victory. Disappointing for Lana Myers-Taylor with that miscalculation on the weight of the sled. Everybody's so paranoid about being overweight that they have erred in the wrong direction. I'm sure that was just a clerical error. However, you've got a great view of the height of the start tower there. Look, there's fresh air underneath the track. Well, not actually fresh, pylons obviously supporting it, but yeah, long way down. You think of a track that was built not too far before this track was started, like Koenigsee, which basically is just on the ground. Innsbruck on the ground. You know, a lot of them follow the ground very closely. But this a real feat of engineering. built by the company, a company from Sarajevo under the instruction of designers from Leipzig in Germany. So the similarity, I think, perhaps to Oberhof is not a mistake. I think they learned what they learned at Oberhof and then came here and added a little bit more to that. So
it's a little unnerving when you're standing there on the start ramp. You glance down to your left and you see finish Kreisel and you realize how high in the air you really are. Once again, if you're nervous about heights, this is a track that definitely will test you in more than one way.
Yeah, just look at the ice. Do not look over the edge. Normally there's not an edge to look over. Here there's a lot of edge, a lot before you hit anything solid. So first race weekend here in Sigulda, and the Latvians always come to all the tracks and support their athletes in skeleton and in bobsleigh. They're big heroes here, and for a country of 1.9 million residents to have its own track is quite a bonus to their sliding sports, second only to ice hockey as the national sport here. So we'll see a lot of fans, I'm sure, coming out from Riga once they're done with work. But first of all, we get our first podium of the season underway. Flower ceremony. Third place for Anna Kohler of Germany with rookie brakewoman Lisa Gericke. So there you go, she gets a bronze medal, her first ever World Cup start. That's her second from the left. Big smile from Nadezhda Sergeva, who has got Yulia Belomesnik behind her, her brakewoman. And very familiar faces of our race winners, Olympic champion Mariama Yamanka and Annika Dracek, who in fact finished in 4th place in the games, wasn't on Yamanka's sled. Much to her disappointment, I'm sure. However, that's how we finish our first BMW IBSF bobsleigh race of the season. Lots more action coming up from Sigulda. Men's skeleton Saturday morning, first of two-man bobsleigh races in the afternoon, then women's skeleton Sunday morning, and bobsleigh race 2 for the men on Sunday afternoon. We'll see you then. Greg will be racing in the morning. Bye for now.